This is Jay with Sugar Hill Sway. Dig this feline intro, man. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all can't meow on cue? Y'all, I'm leaving this gin, and I don't know if it was at the hotel room or at the hotel or at this gin. I found 3 little old baby kittens underneath my toolbox in my truck. Nobody knows if there's a pregnant mama around or not, or she ain't pregnant no more, a nursing mama around or anything. So I got 3 stinking cats. That's just what I need. I didn't have enough cats, so I needed some more. I didn't need, that makes the day go by. More cats. I'll show y'all a picture of them here in a minute. I brought them back to the gym thinking that maybe this mama that was nursing them took them up there to, move them. Cats do that. Cats will move kittens all over the earth. And that's still probably what happened. I hope nobody put those kittens back there. But they were underneath the toolbox and they was raising Cain just like they are now. Listen at them. You got one that's quiet and just lays around. There's 3 of them. One that's quiet and just lays around. And you got one that won't shut up for nothing on the earth. And then you got one that's kind of in between. It's just kind of meow. So now I'm leaving Florida. I'm heading back home. I got to listen to this crap for another 4 hours. I don't know. Maybe if I be quiet, they'll be quiet. We'll see. I know some of y'all are probably wondering why I fool these trail cameras so much. I absolutely love those things. It's they are so much fun. They're a lot of work, but it's good work. I mean, I was at a store a little while ago and I got some beans I'm gonna mix in with some of the bait. Got some more peanuts, some beans, and some oatmeal. I'm gonna mix it in with the corn some. Make a little cocktail and do a little experiment. And that's one reason I like them. I mean, it allows me to experiment and see, man, they really tear this up, or no, they really don't tear that up. They don't really fool this and this, that, and the other. It's basically just a big experiment. But the cameras, I love them. I sit there, I look through every video that I do, every video. Y'all only see a little small portion of it, but I see every video that's on those cards, and I pick out the best ones and put them in my weekly show. But those cameras are so neat, and I like the cameras so much because they let you look into a world that's normally not yours to look into. If you set up in a deer stand long enough, you'll catch a glimpse of it. You'll see a deer, you'll see a coon, you'll see a squirrel, you'll see a coyote. But that's not every time you go out. Most of the time when you go deer hunting, something like that, you go out there and sit in a tree for 3 or 4 hours, and not only do you not see anything, you don't hear anything either. These cameras, I can leave them out for a week and forget about them, go back in the next weekend and pick them up, or change the cards out in them, and I can see everything that happened right there that week. And like I said, it gives me a longer glimpse of a world that I'm not a part of, if that makes any sense at all. It just lets me look into that See how, see how deer behave, see how raccoons behave, how birds, I never realized birds would eat so much cracked corn, but the pieces are small enough, I guess they will. It's just, you know, you get to see, it's like the little bobtailed deer and the other really pregnant deer out there, you know, I look forward to seeing every week, you know, whether or not they've, you know, given birth yet or anything, you know. So it's just something that's real neat because you get to see, you know, you see stuff you don't normally get to see. You see coons fighting, coons eating, coon behavior. It's just all that's just kind of interesting to me. So I got some beans. I'm gonna make some of them. I'm gonna make some bottles into a little cocktail, you know, and kind of see which bottles. I may leave some of them straight oatmeal, or I might leave some of them straight this, that, and the other. I mean, you can't never tell. I mean, but I got, like I said, I got some oatmeal. I got some beans, different kind of beans. I got lima beans, black beans, pinto beans. Yeah. And I'm gonna mix them in some of the bottles and see. I've got at most places, except one. I think there's one that I don't. But on a couple of places I got the big bottle in the bottom on the ground that anything can get to, you know. And then hanging, I got this little small 20-ounce bottles. Usually got two of them. I'll accept one, and I'll probably have one there before too long. Probably this weekend. And I'm gonna try to put something different in each bottle just to see what attracts what, you know, just see if anything, because just because a deer isn't eating out of that one of those hanging bottles doesn't mean he ain't interested in it. You know, if he smells something over there and he goes over there and kind of knocks around and eats a little bit of it, I mean, to me that's just as interesting as him going over there and eating out of it. Coon sitting there taking that bottle, I got a hole in the bottle, Coon sitting there taking it like a baby bottle, or reaching in there grabbing him a handful of whatever it is I've got in there. I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of what I was, you know, kind of shooting for this week. I'm gonna do some mixing up, and I'm gonna show exactly what I mix up and what I don't mix up in the shop time episode. Probably the next shop time episode that y'all will see will be me mixing stuff up like that, seeing how I want to mix stuff up. All right, we'll look at that. All right, I was just coming back here, change out some trail cameras, or change the cards out some of the trail cameras. And right there in the middle of the road was a little old dead baby deer. Hadn't been dead for too long, couldn't have been, because rigor hadn't set in, and the side that wasn't flat on the ground was still warm to the touch, and the other side got pretty cool, but it couldn't have been dead for too long. I just hate that. It probably weighed 15 pounds, still had its spots on it and everything, you know. Cute little old deer. I didn't even see if it was a buck or a doe, I don't know. But, you know, it wasn't, I don't think an animal got it or anything. Because it wasn't tore, I mean, you know, at the risk of being too gross about it, it wasn't tore up or anything. It was just laying there dead. So I hope it didn't belong to one of those mamas I've been waiting for to give birth, you know. There's two mamas, one with a bobtail deer, and there's another one that's just got a regular tail. Both of them were pregnant, really pregnant. But this one looked like it was more than a week old. And I know them deer hadn't give birth by last weekend, because I've got them on trail camera, obviously. But this deer looked like it was probably 3 weeks old, maybe a month. I doubt it. but like I said, the little bitty thing there laying there just in the road. So I took it off and kind of gave it a halfway decent burial, so maybe the animals won't mess with it, won't tear it all up or anything. But I mean, it's just right there in the middle of the road, just laying there on its side. Crazy. It went to thundering and lightning a minute ago. Look who doesn't like the thunder and the lightning. Even when we're at home, whenever there's thunder and lightning around, she gets nervous and starts hiding in places and everything. She doesn't like it. I don't blame her. I'm not a big lightning fan myself. And there's just a lightning bolt probably 2 or 3 miles away from us. And there's a lot of thunder went with it, a big old cracking thunder. Yup, she had to get in. She wasn't dealing with that crap. Alright, y'all, we didn't get a chance on those 2 spots right there to really kind of tell you what I did. It was raining, so I mean, I didn't want to get out there and have to deal with the rain and what I did and the video inside of it. But what I did is I put at location, I guess A, B, C, D. I gotta sing the stinking song. At location D, where I normally have a good bit of action there, I put out, they really wasn't eating the corn that well. I mean, they were, but they just wasn't tearing it up. I put out a whole jug of peanuts. And I tell you something else I found that I'm trying out. I took 2 fence posts, some of them barbed wire fence posts, and I put them at location C and D. That location C is the one that I set up last weekend. It's a completely different new place. It's on the other edge of the pine thicket. Anyway, those 2 places I put those barbed wire fence posts up, and I took my hanging bottles and hang them from the fence post instead of from the tree. I think that the scent of the pine scent is kind of throwing the scent of what's hanging down off. That's my thinking. I don't know. But I took those and I moved them a little bit away from the pine tree, 3 or 4 foot away from the pine trees, and drove the stake in, or drove the posts in, and I hung my hanging bottles from there. And let's see, I put out on site D, I just left the dry cat food that was in there, I just left it in there, in those hanging bottles. It just had dry cat food. I siliconed them up last week, and so to keep the rain out of it, so it's good and dry still. That's got cat food hanging and peanuts on the ground. This other section, the new section, one I call C, has got, the corn wasn't hardly touched. And so I just left the corn in that on the ground. And on the hanging bottles, one of them is just cat food. The other one is a cat food, oats, and corn mix. That's what that is. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here and get, I'm gonna move one of them. There's one spot that I thought would be good. I don't think it is. I don't think, because it doesn't look like anything's even been by there. So I'm gonna move another camera and then go over to that one camera where there's, which would be A, side A. I'm gonna move B, put side A, and refill it and everything. But it's been raining, so I hadn't had a chance to really film it. I was out there working in the rain. It was a mess, so I'll show you all the rest of them if it quits raining. This is the site where the coons were fighting that night. They tore this bottle, chewed it smooth out. This is the one where I had the turtle food. The other bottle, I don't know where it is. They snatched it clean off the tie and off the rope, and they run off with it. Huh. I don't know where it is. But we got some stuff I'm fitting to put in here that they probably gonna like. This is where I'm gonna put the beans and stuff. Hey. All right. I got the little bean corn medley right there. Like I said, I've got, one more time, I got pinto beans, black beans, lima beans, and corn all mixed in together, an equal amount of all 4 of them. And hanging up right here, I got the silicone put on the top of them. Got some dry cat food right there, peanuts, and oats. So we'll see how they, I'm anxious to see, because you got 4 different things, 3 different things hanging, and then one down here that's all mixed up with all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of anxious to see what kind of action there is. I'm anxious to see what happened last week too, because man, they had a blast over here. It was party time. So I'm waiting to see. I'm gonna change the card out in that camera so I can see what's going on over here. All right, y'all, this is the other place where I moved that one camera to. I took it up across the creek over there and brought it over here. This will be the new Site A. Yeah. It's hard to keep up with, but shoot, I can't remember them either. It's just the closest site, let me put it like that. Got the camera set up right there on the tree. Got it turned on. And right here, I got the 2 hanging bottles. Both of them are oats, corn, and cat food, both of them. And then that right there is the bean medley. Right there. And this is the last one for the day. I'm gonna go see what I got on the rest of these cards. There's camera right in the center on that. Let's see. There's the camera. There's the food. This right here, there's woods all around it, but this is where it first opens up. And I was afraid to put it out there because there's trails. There's a trail coming through here and a trail coming through right over there. And right over there behind the camera over there, about another, I don't know, about 30 yards, is a deep ravine. And there's a creek down in there. It's just weathered it away so much where it's really deep. There's a creek down there, and I know they're coming down here. This is all open. So, like I said, there's a woods right there, and it kind of comes back around and this way here. And that's an open field. Y'all can't see it, but about a quarter of a, well, not even a quarter of a mile, probably, oh, it's probably a quarter of a mile straight that way. I got another camera. And, you know, a couple miles on the other side of the creek over there, there's 2 more cameras. So I got 4 of them. I got this one set up here. And I got another one right over that ridge where, I don't know if y'all can see that tree line right there. On back in that far corner over there is where another one is. Another trail camera. All right, I got them all 4 set up and checked out. So let's go see what we got on them. It's trail cam time. All right, let's start off this week. We got this dog here, one of the brown dogs, some of our same old dogs we have coming up all the time. This is at one of the new spots. The other new spot had 1 video of 1 deer, and it was foggy as all get out, so I didn't share it. But there were more deer coming right through here than I thought there was. I might put a camera back over there again sometime, because I know there's a lot of deer over there, but I'm gonna have to. It's all pines over there, and every time the wind blows, it sways the tree that I got the camera on, and it thinks that there's something making motion, you know, and there's not. Yeah, see that both of those big old brown pretty dogs, big old healthy dogs. Now this is this particular spot is in a light line. I got big power lines going through it, so it's a big old clear open place. And I know there's a couple of deer stands and a feeder right down in there. And all right, this is another site. This is I think it's a rabbit. I'm gonna tell you, them coons is mean now. Now I'll show you in a minute. Here's one during the daytime. The two hanging bottles I got hanging from that tree limb, I moved them. I moved them away from that tree. I moved them. I drove a fence post down in there and hung them from that fence post 2 or 3 feet away from it. So I guess it'll be, look at the eyes up in the upper left-hand corner. See them jumping around, that old rabbit. Oh, yeah, watch this coon. That coon's sitting there, and he hears something coming up, but he don't know what it is. So he's gonna climb up the tree. And all it is some more coons. See that one coon, he's trying to get something out of that bottle? I moved those bottles, like I said, away from that tree, so maybe it'll be a little bit easier for him to get to. And those bottles got dry cat food in them. Excuse me, I had to yawn. They spooked each other, didn't they? Now this must be just some low-level fog, or I don't know what that stuff is moving around. It's not rain, because a spotlight. A bug shining a spotlight. Look at them, bowing up at each other. Every once in a while they tie up now. You always got one bully and you got one that's trying to sneak in. But that stuff at the top that's flying around, I don't really know what that is. Maybe fog, I don't know. But I've seen fog on other cameras before. Good gracious, there's 4 of them. I've seen fog on other cameras before, but it doesn't look like that. I'm not really sure what that is. I only saw deer at one location, and that was the location that y'all just saw. This location and the other locations where they had the party at. I didn't see any deer at all. All I saw was rabbits and coons. You know they like what they're eating if they're coming out during the day to try to eat it. That's just shell corn in that bottle right there. In that one bottle that's on the ground. Like I said, them 2 hanging bottles up there, they're full of cat food, dry cat food. Now this past time, when I went up there, I'm going to show you, see how I got the post right there off to the right? And it's really not any closer to the bait bottle. But it's not hanging on that tree. Here's the other, here's the party shack, the love shack, I guess what you want to call it. It is they had them a big old time. And still got these same 2 old dogs. You got that female right there, and that black one is a male. But that female, she eats corn. Now she'll eat all that stuff over there if you let her have it. She's looking kind of scrawny. I really don't mind them, coming over there and eating food, especially if they're hungry, She notices those bottles, those hanging bottles. Now those hanging bottles I had the turtle food in. And there's a bunny rabbit. I bet when me and Prissy went over there, she chased her 4 or 5 rabbits over there. She never caught a single one, but she chased them. They got a good workout, that's for darn sure. Now look at this nut. I was wondering where the bottle went. Look at them. Them 2 darn coons sitting there bowing up at each other. Again. It's different coons, I'm sure. I hope they ain't traveling that darn far. the sites where the two coons are, or where the two sites where the coons are, I bet are well over a mile away. I got my videos out of sync. I don't know how I did that. I guess when I was editing, I got them out of sync a little bit. See, now we're back on July the 2nd. She done got that one down. I was missing a bottle. She got that one down, and she's gnawing on it like it's an old steak bone. And let's see. He's just reaching in there getting him some. Now see, the other bottle's already down. This is on July the 3rd. That bottle's down, but the dog didn't carry it off, because that's what the little coon's fooling with right now. There's a possum. I tell you now, possum will tear that bottle up too. I've seen them on some of my other episodes where during possum will get that old bottle and yank it around like that dog did. That's just a pretty bird. I guess that's a bird. Oh, there's a bird. Pretty old cardinal. Those old fox squirrels. Same old fox squirrel's been hanging out over there. See, I've only got one bottle hanging. The dog didn't take that bottle off. Coon took it off. See, because there's both of the bottles there on the 1st of July. I'm going to have to pay more attention to that whenever I'm doing the editing. Look at them. But yeah, going out there to meet that other and run him off. That stingy thing. I ain't got my glasses on. I can't see. Is that a possum or a coon? It's like a possum. There's old brown dog. As if you needed me to tell you that. But those hanging bottles is what I had the turtle food in. And all it is just old dried grass is all it was that they had made into pellets. I bet, and I'm thinking about doing something like this, about taking some kudzu vines and cutting them up into little pellets and putting them out there just to see if they'd eat them. I may do that next week, I don't know. But it's got that, I guarantee you it's drawing them, is that hermit crab food. We used to have a hermit crab, and it turned to powder, you know. And I just dumped it in there too, so that's probably what they're smelling. But this week on hanging bottles, I got 3 hanging bottles at that particular place. I've got 1 bottle full of oats, 1 bottle full of cat food, and 1 bottle full of peanuts. There's another pretty cardinal. Those things are so pretty. There's old female dog. And then on the ground, that's where I've got the bean medley mixed in with some corn. So I tell you what, it'd be interesting to see if the dogs eat that. I don't know if the dogs will eat lima beans, kidney beans, and pinto beans, and black beans and corn mixed together. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out next week. There's your buddy. That's her buddy. Yeah, she looks a little scrawny. That look like they've been eating very much. It's probably why they're out scavenging around. Yeah. She wants that bottle. She gets that bottle. She's the one that snatches it off. But like I said, she don't carry it away. A coon carries it away. So she doesn't get everything out of it. See? She probably, there's a hole in the bottom of that thing where they can get the feed out. And like I said, that old hermit crab food's done turned to powder. So if she get her a mouthful of that, like she is right now, she's probably getting a mouthful of that darn hermit crab powder. She ain't quite got it off yet. All right, that's going to do it for the trail cams. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I got to hurry up and get done with this because see that little hanging plant behind me, that little hanging basket behind me? See if I can get you there. There's a little old bird, little mama bird's got 3 little eggs in there. She's about to die to get back in there to them. So she's waiting for me to get through so she can get back in her nest. But that's it. That's all I got for this week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, thanks for watching. That's all I got.